Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If it's sports you want to talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're going to sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station to hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready, boy, you better not miss Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker P.
Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh, so clean. Good morning, Baton Rouge. I'm sure you just love to hear that to start your Saturday morning off. Good morning, this is Eric Hatfield, and you are listening to Louisiana All American Sports on 96.9 FM WHYR LP, Baton Rouge Community Radio. It's the big weekend. We have a big game coming up on Sunday, and we have a whole lot going on in the world of Baton Rouge and Louisiana area sports. It's just that kind of day. So don't let the wind get taken out of your sails. Don't get yourself deflated. Don't let the air out anytime soon, because Super Bowl is not until tomorrow, and there's plenty to keep the wind in your sails today. Just a little gentle hint there. Area code 225-343-9927. 225-343-9927 if you would like to get in on the conversation. LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com was very busy in the last 7 days. A lot of activity was going on in the metro area in basketball. The Hall of Fame Classic, which was held at Baton Rouge Community College, featured a lot of the best teams in the metro area and, in fact, the state. We had a chance to talk with some of the coaches after those games. Edna Karr from Algiers, New Orleans area, in New Orleans, came in. They faced the Port Allen Pelicans, and Coach Gerard of the Port Allen Pelicans and in his team really stood toe-to-toe and went blow for blow with him. Jordan Morgan of the Pelicans went off having a spectacular game. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Gerard after that game, and here was some of what he had to say.
What y'all need? I'm sorry.
I know it doesn't mean anything in the district stands, but this is a good quality win for you.
Oh man, anytime you can beat a team like Edna Karr, New Orleans, the number one team in Class 4A, it lets you know that 3A from top to bottom is pretty good, and Port Allen, we should be one of those elite teams as well across the state. I'm looking at the score, man. We were pretty balanced. I had 4 people in double figures. Another one just missed it by 2 points. We shared the ball well. We shot the ball well. Defensively, we played pretty good. This whole game we played like we did in the second half of last night. So I'm really impressed. We're trying to turn up the defense and get us going so we can see if we can win the district championship and make a run at state.
Conversely, I asked you a question last night. Was that one of your better first halves today?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we've never scored 48 points in a half. After halftime, I come out, look at the score, I say, guys, is that a halftime score? They say, yeah, so normally we between 25 and 32. So for us to get 48, we was on pace for 90, but a team like Karr, man, they was beating us in transition. We wasn't getting back quick, but that's their game. Man, credit the coach, he did a good job. Credit our kids for hustling. I mean, Port Allen kids played hard. Maybe they like big crowds, I don't know.
Morgan really got you off to a great start. He had a great first quarter.
Yeah, Jordan was hitting over shots. Jordan can shoot well. Jordan, number 12, and Nigel Allen, number 31, they're both juniors. So they'll be back. I mean, I'm losing 3 starters, but I have those juniors plus a couple of sophomores. Number 2's a sophomore, Andre, and Dontra, so we're gonna be all right.
Coach, early this week in a district win, you had a lot of unforced errors against Parkview Baptist. Looks like the last couple of nights you guys have been as close to flawless in that regard as any team could be. Can you talk about that?
Well, I wouldn't say close to flawless. We had a lot of unforced errors tonight, in my opinion, also. It led to empty trips, which they're able to close the game up. But, I mean, anytime we can persevere, because you're going to have adversity, and overcome, man, I'm proud of the kids. Proud of them.
You talk about it, they cut it to 1 on you. And, like, what do you feel like, you're able to get a big bucket when you need it?
I just told them, let's go with what we normally go with. and don't force anything. Take what they give you. We'll be all right. We're winning on defense.
Great win, Coach.
Thank y'all. Yeah.
That was an exciting, really an exciting tournament that whole day. A fantastic atmosphere for high school basketball. By the way, 225-343-9927, area code 225-343-9927. I don't want to call Port Allen versus Karr the undercard. It was an excellent game between two really good teams. But look, the main event was the final game of the evening, U-High versus Madison Prep Academy. U-High, the defending Class 3A champions. Madison Prep, the Class A runner-ups from last year. And if you've ever seen this team play, I think they can roll with anybody 5A on down. It was a fantastic contest last week. Game was very close. Madison Prep pulled away in the final couple of minutes. We had a chance to catch up with both coaches of these basketball teams. U-High, Madison Prep, if you like amateur sports, if you like high school sports, and you're in the community and you want a great value for your sports dollar, you've got to see one of these two teams play. First, we'll talk to Coach Spencer and then Coach Jeff Jones of the Madison Prep Chargers.
Coach, great game, tough ending. What was the difference in the fourth quarter?
Offensive rebound. I mean, they killed us on the glass. I mean, we'd have a good possession, get what we thought was going to be a good stop, and we give up an offensive rebound, and we kept doing it time after time after time. That really killed us.
First loss of the season. How does this maybe set a tone or adjust a mindset for the kids going forward?
Well, we lost this game last year. It's an exhibition game, so it doesn't hurt us in the power rankings. It really just helps us get ready for playoffs. So, we look at it as a positive thing. It's a great atmosphere. A lot of fans here, so it's a lot of fun. It'd be more fun to win, but it'll definitely help us down the road.
Who's on deck next week, Coach?
Next week we got Baker at home and Bruley at home. Back to district play.
All righty. Best of luck. Good effort tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What's up, man?
That was Coach Spencer.
There were fireworks in that U-High Madison Prep game, and there were actually fireworks last night when U-High faced Bruley, and we'll be along with that update very shortly. But Coach Spencer, he's got those boys playing some really good basketball. That finally we caught up with Coach Jeff Jones of the Madison Prep Academy Chargers. Let's cue up Coach Jones.
Coach, it looks like you used a lot of your depth tonight in this game. Very convincing district win. How's this set the tone both for the district and kind of for how you're going to utilize your weapons down the stretch?
No, we're just trying to get some guys some minutes tonight. I mean, the score was, once the score lead got a little big, we just kind of had opportunity to put some guys in, and we don't get that every night. So we wanted to give some of the younger guys a chance to play. Got a big ball game tomorrow, so no sense in getting anybody hurt. Kind of save your legs a little bit and get ready for tomorrow.
Coach, what do you have in the coming week?
We continue district. We have Christian Life, U-High tomorrow and Christian Life on Tuesday.
All right. Coach, best of luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
It was really a fantastic contest, and just because it doesn't count doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It was some of the best high school action you could have seen. One of the young men on the Madison Prep team who stood out was Christian Thompson, and there was a moment in the game that he was lined up mano a mano with another local standout, DJ White of the U-High Cubs, and he started to make a move. White backpedaled a little bit, and you heard the crowd kind of get up, and then DJ White slapped the floor. Hey, this is real. This is real high school basketball. This is what Christian Thompson had to say after the game. Here we go.
Did that kind of hype you up a little more?
Yes, man. It kind of challenged me. He challenged me. He told me he couldn't guard me, and I took it offensive, I guess I could say. And I just wanted to show him and the crowd, my teammates, that I could do it. I knew he'd talk a lot of smack. He's slower than me. I could beat him off the dribble. Just did what I could to get my team involved and win with the W.
You all did a lot of things tonight, like Coach said. You got every 50-50 ball. You hit a shot, an unbelievable three when you got hit. It was just a lot about hustle and effort tonight, wasn't it?
Yes, man. It was about who wanted it more. We came out hot, fire, and ready. We really wanted it.
Okay. What do you think you all need to do to get better from this point?
I think we need to keep working. We can't get complacent on the win that this big win we got, and all the other wins. We got to keep working and practice every day.
Good deal.
That was and that voice was of Robin Frambro of the Advocate, asking those questions. Hey, I talk enough. No point me doing any more talking if it's not necessary. So. So that was all last week's action. We also had some good action last night. And speaking of which, I just mentioned DJ White a moment ago, and he is our in-studio guest today. DJ White of the U High Cubs had an excellent game last night, and actually the timing could not be more perfect as it segues us right on in to the action. Before I talk about the high school action, let's go ahead and go around the horn, and we have some folks who've just joined us in studio. We have, of course, my regular co-host, my brother from another mother, Joe Capee. We have the professor, Terrell Johnson, and as I mentioned, we have our in-studio guest, DJ White of the U High Cubs basketball team. Gentlemen, how's it going this morning?
Hey, man, it's going great. I'm just happy to be here, but I also wanted to say that the only reason why I'm here is because I didn't want to get fined.
Oh, Joe Capee, he'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be a lot more of that where that comes from. Professor, how are you this morning?
Peace, family. I am so excited, as you said, to have our in-studio guest, Mr. DJ White. I've been knowing this young man for quite some time. South Baton Rouge product. He's the son of Donovan White, who played on the Terra High Trojans team under Coach Grantham that lost in the state championship game to Lester Earl and Glen Oaks. So we're very excited about having this young man in the studio today. He has a wealth of potential, so stay tuned.
And, of course, our guest, young Mr. White, thank you for joining us this morning. And how are you on this fine Saturday?
I'm doing really good. I'm just blessed to be here in this situation. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I've watched you play a lot of basketball, both for Louisiana All American Sports and otherwise, and I got to say it's really great to have you here. I really enjoy watching you and your team play ball. And hey, speaking of the U High Cubs, last night they put a stomping on Bruley last night. I did mention when we were talking to Coach Spencer last week how he had some fireworks last night, and DJ, maybe you could talk about that because Coach Spencer got tossed. Joe Spencer was tossed with 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter. He was hit with 2 techs while protesting a call. I've seen Coach Spencer a few times. I've never even seen him have emotion on his face. DJ, what in the world happened last night?
It's been happening for the last 2 weeks. He wants the referees to give us like more calls just because like we're bigger than most of the guys. He don't think it's fair for us to get beat up down there in the paint. So he just had enough of it, and he decided that he needed to do something about it.
How did the guys respond to that? I mean, y'all had to love that.
Yes, sir. It gave us an edge. We just wanted to go out there and blow him out the water for our coach because we know how much he means to us, and hopefully he knows that. And we just wanted to go out there and get the W for him.
I'll tell you, coaches are really smart. They know when to do that. You know, not all technical fouls are bad. I mean, I'm looking at the final score. Y'all obviously were clubbing Bruley over the head last night. Is that also that made the Cubs, that put them at 8-0 in District 7 3A play, 22-3 overall. But, you know, they were obviously winning. And so you have a situation in which you all have been probably getting – people have been getting physical with you guys. I've watched y'all. Y'all are very big. You're a big team. You're imposing. You look like some college teams as far as size. So I'd imagine he figured this was the right time. He's like, we're going to win this game. It's time for me to make my statement. And I guess that's what he did. Yes, DJ, you had a great game last night. You had 23 points. And, of course, Skylar Mays, your fine point guard, had 20. Looked like a heck of a game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your game last night?
I thought it was pretty good. I think we got a lot of points out in transition. And they gave us open shots, and we shot the ball very well last night, so we were able to knock those down.
Tell me about you. You know, I've seen you hit a lot of three-point shots. You have I don't want to say unusual, but you shoot, you know, most three-point shooters get up, they have a lot of arc on the ball. You shoot these line drive threes, and you hit them all net, no rim. It's like a freak of physics or something like that. Can you, I mean, I know you shoot the way you shoot, and you shoot how you're comfortable. Could you tell me about that style? It's really different from anybody who's actually accurate from behind the arc.
Yes, sir. I think I have a lot of open shots, and, like, when I'm wide open, I try to jump as high as I can off the ground, so it'd be easier for me to, like, I don't want to say look into the rim, but it's easier for me to just let the ball go and then go straight in.
Wow. These U High Cubs, I tell you, like I said just moments before these gentlemen walked in the building, if you want good sports value for your dollar, you got to see the U High Cubs play. They are a really fun team to watch.
I had a question for you. What style of play do you actually, like? Do you like up-tempo type of play, or do you like half court? Or, you like to play on the perimeter, or do you just like it all?
I like to play in transition a lot. I feel like by me being a freak of nature, I can dribble the ball as fast as 5'10", 5'11" guys. And by me being 6'5", I feel like I'm a freak of nature. I'm a freight train going to the goal, and can't nobody stop me.
Man, I like that confidence.
I like that too, man.
I want to chime in real quickly. Seeing that, what's the influence of your father, Don and Donnie? I've known Donnie all his life. As I said, we're all from South Baton Rouge. Donnie played for Coach Grantham and Tara. That year, Tara won the East Baton Rouge Parish Tournament. They beat the same Glen Oaks team in the game by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken.
You have to know what year that was, T?
I think it was 95 or 96, I think. Okay. And for them to lose the championship game to Glen Oaks by 1 point, your dad took the last shot. It went in. They called a charge. I was at the game. Wow. What influence, briefly, did your dad have on your game?
He gave me a lot of influence. I remember when I was a freshman, and we was playing Riverside in the semifinals, and he told me to take advantage of it because championships and being in the Final Four don't come as often. So I didn't take advantage of it the first year. So he stayed on me. He pushed me all the way to my sophomore year. So when I got to my sophomore year, we made it to the championship, and he told me, he was like, DJ, take advantage of your opportunity. Last year you let it slip by you. And I told him, I said, yes, sir. And then we came out and jumped on the guys, ended up taking the league, and we won the state championship. So,
wow. Were you always, well, of course you wasn't always 6'5", but I mean, growing up, were you tall growing up, or did you just get a growth spurt?
I was pretty tall. Guy? Yes, sir. I was always tall.
Mm-hmm. The tallest guy in the class.
Yeah, but I was slimmer, though, so.
Did you always want to play basketball, or were you interested in other sports, football or track? Or
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I liked to play basketball like ever since I started to learn about sports, but I also liked the football too. Mm-hmm. So yes, sir.
We're also chiming in, Joker. I don't know if you know now. He also played football for U High. Football is actually his forte. He's a dual threat. He's actually a quarterback, and I think he wants to make a statement in reference to football or something today as well.
Okay, well, what you got to say? What's that?
We just gonna see what's gonna happen after the basketball season.
Okay. No predictions or nothing.
No predictions right now.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that.
The young fella's focused. I like that.
Gonna get you back on the hook for the Super Bowl pick, though.
Yes, sir.
So look, just a little off topic a little bit, but you mentioned you played football, and I've had a chance to talk with Coach Mahaffey just a little bit, but just in the brief time we've covered you guys on Louisiana All American Sports.com a couple of times. Yeah. I was really impressed just in the brief time I spoke with your coach. Can you talk about him a little bit? I was really I'll let you open it up. Just tell me a little bit about Coach Mahaffey. Tell the audience.
Coach Mahaffey, he's a good coach. He wants to win more than anything. So I think when you have a guy like that, I want to become a winner too. And when you have a guy like that, I think it rubs off on everybody that you're coaching.
Well said. Other high school basketball action. DJ, I'd like you to, I know the basketball community is a fairly small or closely knit, so I'm sure you might be familiar with some of these teams and games. If you have some knowledge or insight, just jump on in and interject. For some of these games we covered in the Baton Rouge area, Catholic High in District 5A action defeated Woodlawn last night by the score of 48-36. Tolliver Freeman of Catholic High had 24 points. Another win for Catholic. They are 4-0 in District 5A play. Also earlier this week, the Louisiana All American Sports Game of the Week took us to the bottom to McKinley High School as the McKinley Panthers faced the Catholic High Bears. It was one of the most exciting games I think I've associated with all year. Catholic High did win, as I mentioned. They're still undefeated in district play. They won 50-48. McKinley was trailing by 12 points going to the fourth quarter. McKinley's not a volume shooting team. They're a defensive team, but they put on a furious rally, came up just short. We had a chance to chat with some of the participants in that game. First of all, we had a chance to catch up with Coach Dotson of McKinley, Marvin Dotson, the head coach, and he had some brief comments. This is what he had to say.
Right, a couple things. We started off a lot slower than we wanted to start off, and for the last few games, that's something that's plagued us, and we also can't seem to make the easy shots. We miss I'm not sure exactly how many, but I'm sure we missed a whole lot of layups, as well as free throws. That if we make those layups and those free throws, it'll be a much manageable game. I think we did a bad job of digging a hole for ourselves in the beginning, and I think we exerted a lot of energy trying to dig ourselves out of that hole.
But you got to be pleased with the effort in the fourth quarter. We've talked about their defense, and you pushed them out with your defense.
All right, what I did, I gave a few guys that normally don't get an opportunity to play. I gave them a chance to get out there and show what they're made of, and I'm really proud of those guys who stepped in really in uncharted territory and made a few plays. And if they got close enough to where if we made a couple shots down in, it could have really been a ball game. So hopefully we can bottle that and come out for the rest of the year and finish a lot stronger. And start a lot stronger.
You say a couple of guys came in. Who are you talking about there?
Joshua Gordon and Marcus Coleman.
Okay.
That's a freshman and a sophomore that came in, and as well as Donald Hunter. He's a junior, but don't get a chance to play a whole lot.
So you told them go in and go after.
Right. Basically, just go out there, and for me, it was more about just effort. I wasn't a whole lot concerned about them making mistakes, as long as they made mistakes going full speed. And the problem that we've had at different spots of the year, and I think it's caused us to be so up and down and inconsistent, is effort. There's not a whole lot. I don't feel like it has a lot to do with our talent, our capabilities. We just have, I guess, our pre-game preparation, our mental approach towards the game is not as strong as it needs to be.
Marcus is M-A-R-C-U-S?
Yes, M-A-R-C-U-S, Coleman, C-O-L-E-M-A-N.
Coach, it seems like the difference for Catholic that carried them to the win was their fast start in the first quarter. Was there something different that you were doing defensively in the first quarter that you changed between the three quarters?
Well, in the beginning, we went in with a game plan, and for some reason we didn't do a really good job of executing it as far as applying the pressure defensively and with enough intensity. And the second half, at halftime, I went in and I stressed that, for us to get it in this game or even play with these guys, we have to, be more aggressive. We have to, apply more pressure and use our athleticism a little bit more than we did the first half. I think the first half we played real lethargic and kind of, passive and, not aggressive. And, let's just be realistic. If we played that way, we're not going to be real successful.
And it really was a tale of two halves. Catholic High got up to a very rapid start, and McKinley, I'm not going to say they weren't able to catch up. They drew it down to a single possession game, but in the end, Catholic High was able to pull away. One big standout from Catholic High School was Tolliver Freeman. As I mentioned last night, he scored 24 points against Woodlawn. I don't have his final tally in front of me, but I will say that he went off. Very impressive young man. We had a chance to chat with Tolliver Freeman, and these were some comments of him. Very impressive youth. And this is what young Mr. Freeman had to say.
What was it like in the fourth quarter? Because Coach talked about y'all getting everybody's best shot, and you got theirs in the fourth quarter. They really came at you. Was it just a matter of persevering?
Well, yeah, it was a bunch of perseverance. We knew they were going to come out playing aggressive defense, and we had to adjust, had to be strong with the ball. And we did have a little bit of turnovers. We needed to work on that practice, cut it down for the next game because we know they're going to come out swinging.
Tolliver, you made some clutch plays in the fourth quarter, some going to the basket, some knowing when not to go to the basket, and then, of course, at the foul line. Can you talk about how you helped pull your team to the win down the stretch?
Yeah, we needed some leadership at the end. Things weren't really going our way with the calls, but we expected that. We were playing in an away game in district against McKinley, a tough rival. But, yeah, we had to get some leadership and do well.
Great job, son. Big game.
What does it mean to come over here and survive a game like this at McKinley in district?
It was great. Last year we lost here twice. We lost in district and we lost in the playoffs. So we wanted to come back with some vengeance. Basically, we wanted to come back, not let them get the momentum. And Ethan did a really good job of giving it to us, and we all just felt the momentum and we did well.
Great game. Good job, son.
And leadership was what he provided. Joker, you were there at the game. What did you see?
Man, I saw Tyler Freeman go off that game. I saw a tale of two halves. The first half, Catholic High was running a lot of screen plays, a lot of back doors, and was able to execute a lot on the offensive end. And they was operating actually like a machine. Only thing that kept McKinley kind of in the game, McKinley is don't have a lot of three-point shooting, and so I think that kind of stifles them a little bit because Catholic High, all they did was play zone, pack down in the lane. McKinley did have the big man down low that were effective a little bit, but the first half it was Catholic High with their plays and with their shooting ability. It was 4 for 4 from the 3-point from the 3-point land, and so they was able to push the lead up. Second half, McKinley came out with a lot of defense. They fought hard, and they scrapped their way back in by getting turnovers. And then they started to finally hit a couple of big threes, which pulled it. Because I remember in the fourth quarter, you was like, man, they have to have a big quarter here. I'm about ready to call this game.
Right.
And I said, well, let's see first, you know. And they
right.
they went on like a 14 or 12-0 run and was able to pull the game within 2. And they finally got a chance to take the lead with another 3, and he wide open 3. And, you know, and at the end of the day, it's about execution. And Tyler Freeman, when he came down, the game got close, he took over. He got the ball in all of the most important possessions he was able to execute. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So I give kudos to McKinley for coming up. You know, of course, that's my alma mater, so I'm always going to root with them. But, you know, it was kind of bitter defeat. At the end of the day, it's all about execution.
Man, I've had the opportunity to observe McKinley on several occasions this year, and they're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. McKinley is somewhat disheartens me at times, especially the game I saw against Woodlawn. I'm just disheartened against McKinley. Being a former player, and as Joker just said, being my alma mater, you kind of expect a level of play traditionally that we're not seeing now. Defensive-minded, full-court press. The defense was our offense. Fast break, kind of like the Showtime Lakers, or this smothering defense. And this kind of slow it down, methodical type of thing is I just hadn't been able to figure that out yet, but I guess times has changed, and I may be stuck in the past, Joker.
We may be stuck in the past. You know, it's very rich heritage that we have down there, you know, the banners and the state championships.
Because it was unheard of. We would have blew the doors on Catholic High in our days. I'm talking about 80 to 10. They wouldn't even got the ball across half court.
Across half court.
Okay. I'm done. I'm done.
This ain't your daddy's Catholic High, and apparently this ain't your daddy's McKinley. But, you know, McKinley's they're a defensive team. They are not a shooting team. They don't have shooters. I mean, it's no crack. But Coach Dodson uses what he has. And, look, when their defense, I mean, after that first quarter, they were locking them down. Unfortunately, the first quarter counts like the other minutes of the game. DJ, I know you guys are not in the same district or classification. Are you familiar with either of those programs? If so, please share insight. And if not, that's cool, too.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with McKinley only because we played them this year in Central.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think about McKinley?
When it's a big game, I think they step up. But when it's like not a hostile environment or something like that, they just kind of take their foot off someone's neck.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because the coach actually talked about that. He talked about it in the first half how they wasn't giving effort. And he actually had to go in at halftime and really get on them. And that's why in the second half they came out more scrappy a little bit. And they kind of fought back. They was going for the loose balls. You could see them more. They had more energy with them in the second half. And I think you're right. You know, some games it just looks like they don't just have the effort or they don't have, you know. And so, you got to be motivated at all times in this game.
Speaking of McKinley, I couldn't find an update on the Dutchtown game. Did they win or lose last night?
They won it last night. Quickly, I grabbed the mic and had to reiterate that the Blue Machine did win.
Hey, that's good for our friends down there in the South. Other action in the Baton Rouge area: Glen Oaks, a resurgent Glen Oaks program, defeated Lehigh 51-37. The Madison Prep Academy Chargers, they lined up and they took the Kentwood Kangaroo, put a blindfold over his head, put a cigarette in his mouth, and opened up the firing squad. As Madison Prep plowed Kentwood 108-38. Christian Thompson 24 points. I am so glad you're in studio, DJ. I got to ask you. Last week, there was anybody who was at the game saw the, just because it doesn't count, it doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Yeah. And there was a one-on-one between you and Christian Thompson, and you slapped the floor, and it was the crowd just lit up. You got to tell. We actually had Christian Thompson talking about that right before you walked in the door. Got to get you to give your account.
Yes, sir. I feel like if the referees could let us play a little bit more, then I think the crowd would have got what they wanted to see. You know, they paid their money to see a show. You know?
That's right.
So Christian Thompson, he was at the top left of half court, and he did like a little move, and the crowd was like, "Oh!" So then I got up. I got up some more on him. I think I had 3 fouls at the time. I slapped the floor. I was like, "Okay, you think you can drive? I'm gonna stop you right here, dispossession." Turns out the referees give me another foul, so I have 4 fouls. So I had to play about 3 minutes in the third quarter, all the way to the fourth quarter, with 4 fouls.
So you played a little bit more attentive on defense.
Yes, sir. I feel like if I could have had 2 fouls, or if you would have let the guard play be as physical as the post play, I think it would have been a better game, because like majority of the players that in 2015 on their team who's going to college.
Right. I want to ask you this real quick. If you had to pick a player now in the NBA, who you kind of can see yourself as, or who is your favorite player? Or, do you model your game after anybody, or who do you would kind of compare yourself to, or anybody?
I only say LeBron James because how big he is and how fast he can move. So
that's your favorite player too.
Yes, sir. I see myself doing that. I also like Marcus Smart also, who came from Oklahoma State, a good friend of mine. So
yeah.
I see some similarities
he's
actually.
Driving. He's at Boston.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Both body-wise and kind of play-wise, I do see some similarities between your game and LeBron's. I'm not trying to pump your head up. By the way, we have a gentleman on the line who we will join. Will join with us very shortly. We haven't talked to a while. It's our friend, The Fixer, and we will get with him in a moment because this is Super Bowl weekend.
The Fixer.
The Fixer.
The Fixer.
Other high school action real quick as we'll wind it down here. Parkview Baptist, our friends from the Shrine on Airline, defeated Baker 54-41. Anthony Stove of Parkview Baptist had 17 points. Coach Perry, if you're listening, if you could text me whether or not you know Anthony Stove is related to Jonathan Stove, who's at ULL, played at Christian Life Academy. I'd love to know that. They look similar, last name's the same. They look related, so I'm guessing they are, but I don't know much about the young man. But he went off last night, 17 points. Good job by that young fella. And the Scotlandville Hornets, just picking up where they left off, as they put a hammering on Zachary, 70-45. And then across the river, West Feliciana nipped our friends in Port Allen, 56-55 in the very competitive District 7-3A. Perhaps, DJ, you can chime in on that also. Ishmael Lane led the Pelicans with 20 points. Jazz Ferguson, I've seen him play before, led West Feliciana with 29 points.
I kind of figured it was going to be a good game because those guys, they like drama, and they like to get up and down the floor, and they like to bang. So I kind of figured that's a game for them. So, yes, sir.
All right, so that winds up our high school action. Let's see what direction we should take next. We're going to go ahead and get our buddy The Fixer on the line. We have not spoken with him in a long time, but hey, just because it's been a long time doesn't mean we've forgotten about him, because audience and anybody else, if you've listened to the show for a while, kind of like Pavlov's dog, when you hear this sound, you know that you are about to hear The Fixer. I'm going down the radio street in the rain. Come on, What up, G? Long time no see.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, Fixer, what's up, man? We miss you, buddy.
Hey, well, I've been around. I had things I had to do. I've been working for a few friends of mine. I've been hanging out with some ball boys. You know how it go.
No doubt. What you got for us?
Well, we got this Super Bowl game coming up. We got 300,000 people out here from across the world out here to see the Super Bowl out here in Las Vegas. And usually there's a point spread, but because it's Super Bowl, for some unknown reason, and usually because of when there's something funny going on sometimes, Vegas doesn't really make the point spread too big or too small. Now there is no spread. It's a pick'em game.
Wow.
The line I heard this morning, Fixer, was New England by 1. Is that accurate, or is it kind of fluctuated back and forth between pick'em and 1 point?
It always fluctuates. Different casinos have different things to bring people in. One would probably get more Patriots fans there, but most of the casinos have it as a pick'em. So it's up and down.
I just got to ask: were you in Massachusetts a couple of weeks ago? There was some news that let the wind out of the sails of a lot of NFL fans. I'm just curious. You seem to be around from the World Cup to everything else when strange stuff goes on.
Well, all I can tell you is I was just hanging out with some ball boys. We just went out to a couple of places. That's all we did. I don't know anything about what else they're talking about. I was just hanging out with the ball boys. That's all.
So, So what? Yeah, you got any other good news for the audience today? What else you got on the buffet?
Well, it looks like we're getting close to this Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask him about. What's the word out there?
Pacquiao stalking that man, huh?
Well, still, Mayweather, they gave him everything he wanted. Now all he got to do is sign his name. Either he gonna fight Pacquiao or me, one of the two.
Right. I actually think they're going to probably announce it at the Super Bowl. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking with that big audience, I think they're probably going to announce it then.
Is there a early line on the fight?
No, there's no line on the fight because there is no fight at the moment until the papers are signed. There will be no line. But the line is right now, Mayweather 120 million and Pacquiao 80 million.
That's what I was just about to inquire about. I was hearing. I didn't know it was 120 million. My sources said that Money was asking for 100 million off the top before we even I tied my boots.
Yeah, he was. And they had one of those guys in Dubai came up and offered him 120.
Okay.
But he wanted to fight in Dubai though. So
okay.
Yes.
$200 million between the fighters. That's a big, thick line. Well, Mr. Fixer, Perry isn't here today, but I think I can speak for him when I say stay off the grid, stay out of jail.
And I'm gonna give you I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win this game. Yeah, all the things that have gone on in the United States this year between New York and Ferguson, St. Louis, of course, where I'm from. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
All right, so we got the Fixer down for the Seahawks. We got you down, so be listening because we're going to hold you to it. Oh, boy. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Peace, bro.
Peace out.
Peace.
That was the Fixer.
I'm going down the radio street in the rain.
Wow.
The Fixer.
The Fixer. Ain't that something the way the spread is just changing?
Well,
at one time, Seattle was up.
Yeah, Vegas does have a tendency to manipulate the lines in order to draw in constituencies per se. But I wanted to ask him about the under and over because I hadn't had a chance to observe the card yet. I'm going to just go out on a limb and take a stab and say the under and over is probably 40.
Oh, okay. I thought you was finna go with your pick. We were going.
No.
We're gonna hold. You know,
I'm cerebrally ready for that.
Yeah, I ain't say nothing about the Green Bay game yet. Weren't here last week. But I'm gonna let the sleeping dogs lay. Let them lay.
The professor is a diehard cheesehead, diehard Green Bay fan, and of course, anybody who saw the game, I can only imagine how disappointed he was.
Oh my goodness!
You know, that's not even my favorite squad, and I was disappointed.
I told you, I seen on Facebook. All I saw was, cut Bostic now
with 1,000 exclamation points behind it.
So wow! All right, well we're gonna go to we're gonna take a break in just a moment. Joker's gonna, of course, introduce the music piece. Really quick though, DJ, and I know that there are a lot of rules and regulations. So if you want to do like Marshawn Lynch and just say you're here to not get fined, that's fine with me. But are you, to the degree with which you are comfortable, can you discuss future plans after high school?
You talk about like my recruitment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got a lot of colleges. Like I know Johnny Jones talking to me from LSU, Oregon State, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, Vanderbilt, La Tech, Texas A&M. And that's it right now.
You got a lot on your buffet from which to pick. It's good to have options, man.
Yes, sir.
It's good to be young, and it's good to have options. So I'll turn the floor over to Joker.
I was going to play a song today, but today is the Super Bowl. Today is the Super Bowl. So I want to make an exception. I like the dialogue that we're having here. I don't know if we want to go to college or go to. I want to hear a little history lesson today.
Yes, sir.
If T has one prepared.
Indeed.
And
so Indeed.
My song today was going to be I was going to double back and play the Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
That thing. But I think I'm going to save that one.
Okay.
Save it for for the ladies. That was my shout out to the ladies. But it's Super Bowl now.
Let's proceed.
It's the Super Bowl.
All right, well, look,
it's testosterone.
Well, look. So, we still got to drop a little knowledge on the show. You know what I'm saying? As far as institutions of higher learning, just really quick, Southern University Jaguars. We mentioned that they needed to get a split as they had a 2-game road stand. That's exactly what they got. They defeated Alabama A&M in Huntsville. Alabama State, very good team. They took to overtime but fell 63-59 in OT. Trinity. They face Alcorn State at Alcorn today. That game will be on Wink 97.7 FM. And our LSU Tigers, I got to say, I'm really starting to get, I'm really starting to feel confident in where LSU is going. As they are riding a 2-game winning streak. They defeated Vanderbilt last week on the road in overtime, and against South Carolina, they pulled victory from the jaws of defeat as they were held to only 64 points, but still defeated the South Carolina Gamecocks 64-58. They have Mississippi State today at 1 o'clock, just after the show's over, and then they face Auburn on February the 5th. I'm just going to throw in my pick real quick. I think they win both of those games, both at Mississippi State and against Auburn back here at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. So, now we've talked about our institutions of higher learning. Of course, it's time to get your mind right, and as we get ready for Professor Johnson's history class. Professor, you want to, give us just a quick intro into what we'll be talking about today before we get you guys queued up?
I'm giving it to him raw.
Giving them to him raw. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since you've been here, man. I miss you. You know, and that's real talk, man.
I'm cocked and loaded.
Yes, indeed.
He said cocked and loaded. So we got cocked and loaded, and we got deflated balls.
Wow, the comic relief. Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker Pete.
Hey, I get a good one off every now and then, you know?
Troops refuse to fight. Matter of fact, it's safe to say that they would rather switch than fight.
Class is in session.
Peace and blessings to my universal family. As always, we want to begin with our initial disclaimer that we are here to present truth, not black truth and not white truth, but holistic universal truth in an effort to educate the masses. Today, I want to talk about Cuba. Cuba. In the news, we've been seeing the recent evolvements of the United States now interacting politically with Cuba. Just a brief historical overview about the Cold War. Cuba was once a communist country. Those of you that may be familiar with history are aware of the Bay of Pigs incident and the Cuban Missile Crisis, which Nikita Khrushchev was implementing plans to back up Castro and bring missiles to Cuba, which is 90 miles from the coast of Florida. This was a very political theme that was ringing in the Kennedy administration. Now, bringing it to present-day time, Cuba has been disenfranchised from America for years. Policy has almost choked the life from Cuba. However, today, interesting enough, Marco Rubio, Christie, and other politicians from New York are calling now, since America is now dealing with Cuba again, for the return of various political prisoners whom have been in exile there. At any rate, one of the most noteworthy political prisoners that has been in exile in that area is Assata Shakur. Assata Shakur. And I want to read a brief, small snippet from a letter penned by Sister Shakur, and it states, an open letter from Assata Shakur. I am a 20th century escaped slave. She says, my name is Assata Shakur. I'm a 20th century escaped slave. Because of government persecution, I was left no other choice than to flee from the political repression, racism, and violence that dominate the U.S. government policies toward people of color. I am an ex-political prisoner. I have been here in Cuba in exile since 1984. I have been a political activist for most of my life, although the U.S. government has done everything in its power to criminalize and demonize me. I am not a criminal, nor have I ever been one. In the 1960s, I participated in various political struggles, Black Liberation Movement, Students' Rights Movement, and movements for the end of the Vietnam War. I joined the Black Panther Party, By 1969, the Black Panther Party had become the #1 organization targeted by the FBI program. Because of the Black Panther Party demanded the total liberation of, because the Black Panther Party called for the total liberation of black people, J. Edgar Hoover called it the greatest threat to internal security and vowed to destroy its leaders. Now, with that being said, in closing, Assata Shakur was allegedly charged for some violence toward police murders, and was brought up on 6 different charges. And since 1984, as I think she said in the letter, 1984, she's been in Cuba living in exile. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that would be very interesting. Perry and I discussed that as well, that she's in Cuba now, and that now the United States is calling through their political chicanery for all prisoners that have been persons that they want them to be extradited back to Babylon, back to the great beast, back to the United States of America, where they can all the wheels of the political machine. So remember, in closing, always investigate the information you receive. Verily, if it is the truth, it should stand the test of investigation. Peace.
Class dismissed. Holiday Inn Express after I hear the professor's history lesson.
Thank you, good brother. Thank you.
So, look, Professor dropped the straight knowledge. He told us how it is, but of course, we're always talking some sports, and sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. And as usual, we had a little action on the hardwood last week, and it was a chance for Joker and I to say, I told you so. So here is our usual segment, I Told You So.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
We'll get a little I told you so's. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna tell you I think the Jags, if there were a Vegas line, might be slight underdogs in both these games, only because one is against ASU, who's very good, and Alabama A&M is solid, and they're on the road. I'm gonna predict a split though. I'm gonna think they're probably gonna have some trouble with Alabama State. They might not win that game, but I think they win today against Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
I think that a split would be good for the Jaguars right about now. Going on the road to Alabama, playing both of the Alabama teams, I think a split would be. I think they would welcome a split. So
yeah,
I also think that they would win one and lose one.
Vanderbilt, I don't know, we talk about the depth perception. Coach Perry Daniels explains this better than I ever can, but how you might shoot a little differently on the road, how the goals might not be how you like it, with the tension or the depth perception of the crowd in the back. And Vanderbilt has that raised floor and that funky, weird stuff in the background, the corn chute, elevator shaft, or whatever it is in there. Really bizarre building with weird acoustics, strange sight lines. LSU has always had problems there, and with the way LSU's been Jekyll and Hyde, y'all hold on to your hats. I think LSU is going to lose today at Vanderbilt.
No.
Oh man. Well, I predict LSU is going to win. I think that the big win on the road against the Florida Gators gave them a lot more confidence to show them that what they can do this year. I also believe that this is kind of building up to the Kentucky game. So no.
On January the 28th, the LSU Tigers come back to the PMAC. They host the South Carolina Gamecocks. South Carolina is a team that they're very physical and have a presence down low, but they don't shoot well. And against the LSU team with the length they have with Jordan Mickey and Darrell Martin, if you can't shoot consistently and can't put in points in the paint, I don't think you're going to win in the PMAC. So I like LSU to win against the Gamecocks.
Yeah!
I apologize. LSU.
South Carolina.
Yeah, you got South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. We are a sports show, so we got to ask you, who do you like in the big game next week? Do you like Seahawks or the Patriots? Who are you rolling with?
I haven't decided yet. They got a lot of controversy going on. I don't too much like too many cheaters.
Yeah, I don't like those cheaters either. So I agree with the gentleman last night. So guess what? There's a big game coming up tomorrow, and for the final, I guess for the next to last time this year, we're going to have all the guys in studio talk about the big action in the National Football League. Guys, get your popcorn ready.
Popcorn ready.
Got two teams. Got two teams. Seattle Seahawks of the National Football Conference and the New England Cheaters, Deflators, Patriots of the American Football Conference. Guys, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I guess we'll go clockwise. Joker.
Oh, I get to go first. The New England Deflatriots. You like that?
DJ, who you like, buddy?
No, that wasn't my pick.
Oh, okay, all
I
right.
didn't say the Patriots, I said the Deflatriots.
Okay.
Yeah. The New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Of course I got to go with the Seahawks. I've been riding the Seahawks all year. Seattle was actually my Super Bowl pick from the beginning of the year. I feel like they got the young team. It was the youngest team to win a Super Bowl last year. I'm actually thinking that this could be a dynasty. They kept a lot of the people that they had, even without Percy Harvin. This team has started out a little rocky, but the defense has rose to the occasion. When you have the best defense and the best run game, then I think the advantage goes to you. And plus, I think Russell Wilson is a stud. I'm going with Seattle Seahawks. Score 28-17.
DJ?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go with the New England Patriots.
Oh,
that's my team. Been my team since '06, and I like Tom Brady because he overcame a lot of doubt, and that's hopefully what I want to do one day. So, going with New England Patriots.
Dimple in the chin.
Yeah, he dimple in the chin. He paid with his heart, but that's all right.
I'm going last. Go ahead.
Well, I am going to. It's a pick'em game. It's a toss a quarter. I don't want to see the Patriots win. It's like it was Groundhog Day when I heard they were cheating again. Again, is it Groundhog Day? I feel like Bill Murray waking up here in the "I got you, babe" over and over and over again. So I don't really like Seattle either. They've been a thorn in the side of Saints fans forever. I was actually almost going to kind of root for the Patriots because I really didn't want to see Seattle win again. Then I heard about the cheating, and it reminded me of everything I just don't like about Bill Belichick or Tom Brady for that matter. So since it's a pick'em game, I'm just going to go with my heart and say I expect the Seattle Seahawks to win. Professor?
It would be disingenuous of me to lack total candor to say, first of all, that Seattle does not even belong in this game.
Ooh.
Secondly, it's a fluke. We laid down, my Green Bay Packers laid down and didn't finish. It's about completion. We didn't finish, but that's neither here nor there.
Completion like Russell Wilson flipping the ball over his head blindsided and Ha-ha Clinton Dix kind of watching it come down into Luke Wilson's hands.
Don't give me a heart attack.
Execution is about it.
I'm holding my hand on my heart. Perry, I'm coming to join you. Perry, I'm coming to join you.
Me and Bostic.
Sam Bostic. Bostic off with your head. I'm going with the New England Patriots, as my young soldier said, Donovan White Jr. I'm going with Tom Terrific, the title that Eric E. Double always gives him. I'm going with Tom Terrific because I'm outright hating. Period.
Hey, I know that honest, and I can't be mad at it. So it's 2-2. I just try to text Perry. I want to see he's going to be tiebreak.
All right.
We know it's two picks for New England, 2 picks for Seattle.
So before Coach Perry Daniels comes in, the Super Bowl's a time when we all get together, and we have a lot of testosterone, a lot of macho on this show. We got 4 guys, and we have just hair on our chest. Right. But, we have to remember the ladies. Women do make up 10% of our listening, of sports talk radio listening audience, and women sometimes have a different perspective of things when they're watching sports. And we had a chance to find out the top 5 things on a woman's mind while watching sports in this past week. With it being Super Bowl weekend, families and friends getting together, seems like everybody's watching the big game, regardless of their interest in football. And the interest in the Super Bowl tends to cross over all sorts of boundaries, including that of gender. The women will be in the heezy, so we'll bring back one of our favorite segments, 5 things on a woman's mind while watching sports.
Cha-cha-cha to the Mardi Gras. I'm the dopest female that you've heard thus far, and I do get better. The voice gets wet.
Number 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I wonder what's going to happen on Scandal.
Number 4.
Why do they pat each other on the butt? I know I'd like to pat them on the butt, but why do they pat each other on the butt?
Number 3.
I wish this man would get off the couch and practice a jump shot. Or at least take out the trash.
Number 2.
I wonder if I could watch the Super Bowl with Bill Cosby tomorrow, or at least have a drink with him. It's been a while.
And the number 1 thing on a woman's mind while watching sports.
Tom Brady likes his balls deflated. Kinda sounds like my husband.
Those were 5 things on a woman's mind while watching sports.
You can cha-cha-cha to the smarty rock. I'm the dopest female that you've heard thus far. And I do get better, the voice gets wet.
Oh, yeah. 5 things on a woman's mind while watching sports. Tom Brady wants to be down, just like his balls.
Eric always impresses me with his ability to the comic relief and the music beds that he produces. I'm sitting here awestruck and smitten that he knew about MC Light. I wouldn't have picked that from Eric.
Let me say this much. I mean, Joker and Perry get credit for the selection of the music, so they definitely picked that.
Hey.
But I remember MC Light from back in the day. She changed the game, baby.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I can't take credit. I remember Light, but it wasn't me. Just like to remind you guys that in about 5 minutes we have coming up Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction here on 96.9 FM WHYRLP Baton Rouge Community Radio. So has the coach, the good coach, chimed in, Joker?
Update. It's going to be a tie break.
Give it to me.
The pick is in. Coach Perry Daniels is going with the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
Dun 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 dun.
Go, Coach.
That's what I'm talking about.
Perry, my beloved good brother. This is where we part ways, and the line has been drawn in the sand, and the gauntlet is set. And the gauntlet is dripping with blood, and the skirts of my garment are red with wine. That's blood. Brother, as we used to say at McKinley, that thing on.
Oh, yeah. Wait till after school.
Oh, boy.
Man.
So,
Yeah, man. So, hey, now it's 3-2. And I didn't want to get back and I want to let sleeping dogs lay. But you're the one that brought up lie. Thank you, Professor. That's why you're the professor.
Yes, sir.
But you did bring up the Green Bay Packers. And since I got a chance to go ahead and rub it in and twist the knife a little more.
Indeed.
I think I will.
Indeed.
You wasn't here in the studio. I wanted to face you because, we had the mics back to back. We posed like
I'm
we
here
was
now,
boxers. And I give you credit. I give Aaron Rodgers and them credit. He was on one leg. He did a phenomenal job. He actually did.
Wow.
And after 4 interceptions, the Seattle Seahawks still won.
Man, we had a meltdown.
What does that tell you about? See, because at the end of the day, even though we got the onside kick or even though we got this and that, we still had to go execute. And execution is the name of the game. We still had to drive the ball down the field. The offside kick don't mean we automatically won. Then y'all came down and got a last-minute field goal and sent it to overtime. You sent it to overtime. So, hey, we got the kickoff. We got the coin toss. We still had to go down and win the game, and we done that. So,
Okay.
I don't look at it as they just gave the game away. We earned that.
Okay.
We took that. We got that.
I concur.
We did that. Now what's up?
Let me interject. I would liken what happened to the Green Bay Packers for those of you that are avid sport fans and remember all genres of sports. Those of you I liken this meltdown to the free throws that Fess Irvin missed at LSU when they played Indiana that year. Keith Smart and them. LSU was supposed to beat Indiana. They call him Fess Choke Irvin. He missed 2 free throws with less than a minute left to beat Indiana to go to the Final Four, but my homeboy Keith Smart from South Baton Rouge, a McKinley Senior High product,
Yes, sir.
NBA coach,
Yes, sir.
my former teammate,
Yes,
pulled
sir.
it off. I liken our meltdown to that. And also, I want to just say one other thing because we very
Meltdown?
very pushed for time. I want to make an addendum to the statement that I made about Sister Shakur. She was acquitted on all of her charges, but she did not receive justice. I omitted that, and I would have been remiss if I didn't correct it. So I wanted to make that clear that she went to Cuba and she was acquitted. She was not found guilty for the killing of the officer and so on and so forth. But DJ, you want to make any closing remarks?
I'd like to thank you guys for having me today. Truly blessed to come to you guys' station, and hopefully you guys can have me again.
Indeed, brother, we will have you back again. It's a pleasure to have you. As I say, you're a work in product. You're a work in progress. We're looking forward to seeing great things from you this year. Hopefully the season can culminate out with a win, and we're looking to see you great things from you next year as well. We got about a minute left. In closing, Joker, you want to say anything in closing?
I just want to say, man, I appreciate you coming in, man. I was very impressed with you, your poise and the way you carry yourself, and I just want to say good luck to you, man, and the sky's the limit for you. And then just keep it pushing, man. Keep your nose clean, and you'll go far in this world. I also want to thank, of course, Professor T. Eric Hatfield, Coach Perry Daniels, my family and friends that's all out there in the Baton Rouge area. I thank you all, and have a great Super Bowl Sunday. That's like a holiday for me.
And I want to shout out Club True Blue, who's having their first annual McKinley Senior High Mardi Gras Ball tonight. I also want to shout out Collective Objectives, a forum on Facebook. That's a think tank. We're doing great things. And I want to say peace to the 5% and those who are conscious. Stay black.
ADT, JNS, love you.
Have a good afternoon.
Hail to the king and lords of life. May he protect us from the evil. Hail to the king, lords of life.